Everyone.
Hello. This video is just I'm just going to show you the polytunnel. I put the polytunnel up on the level area that Paul from Diggers for Hire dug for us. Show you what I'm doing up there.
Who put the polytunnel up?
We put the polytunnel up twice.
What happened the first time?
Fell over.
On the last peg.
I decided I wanted to move. I thought I had this big idea that I wasn't going to tighten everything up until it was all erected. We got it up, and I decided I wanted to move one leg just slightly, and it concertinaed. It all went down.
Like dominoes.
Like dominoes.
Where was I?
Underneath it.
Where was I? In the middle of it.
So, started again, braced it all this time, and then built it one section at a time and tightened the bolts up. So if you're ever building the sort of polytunnel like this is, do it that way. Otherwise you'll be very disappointed. You get it all up and the slightest move and the whole thing comes down like a pack of cards. Anyway, I'll show you what I've done up there. And the other thing we've done is today we thought we'd have a look at a local historical site, which is I've got to try and say this now, the Vojnovski cave monastery, which is actually really close. Didn't realise it was
6 minutes?
Yeah, 6 minutes in the van.
And we took decks.
Yeah, we took decks for a nice walk. So here's where we went. And so we've only just discovered that less than a mile away from or just over a mile away from our house, there is actually a Bulgarian heritage site. So we're just going to go up and have a look. It's a rock monastery. I forgot the name now, so I'll put it in the description and say what it is later. But it obviously isn't a highly visited one. There is a little track up, but we thought it prudent not to bring the van because we're in the big van today. But we'll see what it's like.
Don't stay up anymore. Come on, Millie. I was talking to Dad, not you.
Very funny. Our village is surrounded in woodlands, sort of woodlands and quarries. I think a lot of the stone that built Silistra probably came from the quarries between Bulgaria and Popklavovo.
There ain't no bears, is there?
Might be.
Shut up.
This is actually quite a nice walk, so, and only being a 4-minute drive to
6 minutes.
6 minutes. What?
From the house.
Was it?
Yeah.
All right, 6-minute drive from the house to where we parked. I think when the kids come over, or Dad or whoever, be a nice place to come for a walk.
Come here.
And we could have quite easily driven here. There's plenty of space up there to turn around. But the walk's nice anyway.
Oh, wouldn't it? Come on.
Met the steps, look.
I can't see anything now.
Ooh. Well, there's steps there, so I'll go up there in a minute.
Come on.
Oh, blimey.
Oh, blimey, look.
Oh, blimey. Oh, look at that. That is impressive. Right, so here we go, up the steps. It's a shame it's not better maintained. Ooh. Rock climbing. Oh. More steps. I can't say this feels the safest thing I've ever done. Oh, where the bloody hell does that go? Right. Bloody hell, that doesn't go anywhere. Goes nothing there. And not being the mountain goat I once was, I'm not going up to that bit. So I'm going to go back down and up the other steps. It's a fantastic site. It's just a shame they haven't exploited it more. It's fascinating. Bloody hell. Oh. Hello. And there's trees down there. So here's another one of the caves. This one looks like it might have a hole in the roof. Oh yeah. People have obviously been up here with fires. Oh, trees as brave, this one.
They're about going back down.
No idea what that means. Come in and look at this bit. Sadly, you can't really make out what's on the sign. It obviously does tell you a bit about it, but somebody's obviously been using it as a target.
I can see some of it. But...
yeah, what a shame. I'll take a photograph of this bit that's in English, but I don't know that we'll be able to decipher much. I'll have a look online and see what it says about the place. That's it really. We're going to head off back up to the van and then off to see a friend of ours. chain gang.
Nice little pile of stones.
We've been putting the polytunnel up. Obviously, whilst it's not a priority job, what I wanted to do was to be able to get some of this earth on the bank, which is just going to slide away, and put it in a couple of raised beds. So I wanted everything in position. So we've ended up putting the polytunnel up. I'm not going to put any plastic on it. I've still got lots of things to finish, like pegging it down and securing things, but it's up now. That's it. I've got to build some way retaining this wall at the back. I had various ideas. I was going to get corrugated iron put against it, but you can't seem to get it here in Bulgaria now. It's all box section, which is fine, except it's blooming expensive. I would have done it in the same way I've done the retaining wall down in the bottom vineyard with stone, but there's no easy access to here. And the idea of wheelbarrowing it, one wheelbarrow at a time, basically all the way from not even there. I possibly could get the van to there, but that's about it. I'd have to wheelbarrow it up here, and 10 tonne in wheelbarrowfuls. No, it's too much. So the idea I've come upon really is this wood. I can buy these 4 metre long planks. They're 20 centimetres by 2 centimetres. So I would prefer to have used thicker wood for these raised beds, but it will do. But if I have 3 of those and then posts, I'd need 12 of them to span the width. So I think that's what I'm going to do next. Polytunnel was originally going to be 60 foot long. It's 18 foot wide, 60 foot long. Each section is 6 foot, and obviously there were 10 of them. What we found really though was I could have asked Paul to dig out a little bit more than 60 foot, because I didn't take into account the fact you've got to have access each end. So I had to take one hoop off to give us a little bit more room, and then I had the bright idea that if I take 2 hoops off, I've potentially then got potential to make another small polytunnel, where these are obviously 6 foot, by buying some steel and just making them a bit longer, maybe 12 foot, I think, or at least 10 foot, but just putting a few more brackets around just to make it more solid. I potentially got another mini polytunnel, which I can either put somewhere down the bottom or make it into a chicken pen or dog pen or whatever. But by having 2 hoops rather than 1, obviously it's taken 12 foot off of the entire length, but it's given me, just 1 hoop is useless, can't do anything with. 2 hoops have got potential, so I've lost 12 foot. So the polytunnel is still big. It's still 48 foot by 18 foot, so it's big enough really. It also gives a little bit more space at this end, and then coming through this one end I'm going to have just netted, and then when I get to about halfway point it's going to then be plastic, and then I've made 2 little raised beds at the end. Say little, they took a hell of a lot of filling, which I'll show you how I did. I don't know what I'm going to plant in them yet. I'm not planting anything until the spring. Just let the soil settle, and then I can top it up or put manure on it or whatever. And this little area here, so that's the end of the retaining wall with the wood there, but I've still got this little section which is about 10 foot, which I thought I might actually get some stone, even though it's hard work getting it up here, get the stone up here just to make a little retaining wall there and down to where it peters out here, and that would just give me a nice little area just at the end of the polytunnel where we could perhaps have a little round table or something, just so that if you're working in there and you want to come out, have a sit down, have a glass of beer or something like that, it'd be a nice little area at the end, maybe a few pots, whatever, we'll see. But it's just it's quite a nice little bit at the end. It's still gorgeous weather here in Bulgaria. It's really ridiculous. We haven't had any rain since my sister Vida went home. There was a storm just sort of a few days before she went home. I think she went home on the 19th of September. We're now, what was it, 7th of November. So we just haven't had any rain. It's been, daytimes are still up in the 20s temperature wise. I'm in a t-shirt all the time. As you can see, it's gorgeous and sunny, but the ground, the earth, it's just completely, there's no moisture at all. So it's been great for digging the soil, for filling it into where the polytunnel is, but this weather's got to break soon. I expect the heavens will open. So this is what the valley's looking like at the moment in the sunshine. It's gorgeous. It's we got the Rayburn lit because the evening temperatures are dropping away, but daytime's lovely. So that's it for this week. No cooking in this one
because we've run out of things to cook. Just haven't got, I don't want to make it another long video, so well, I'll do something in the next one. And for Keith, I've been trying to do some of the wildlife stuff. I seem to keep seeing things but not catching them on camera. We've got a lovely green woodpecker that's around all the time, and today I spotted a nice we were driving down the road and trees are spotted a nice heron. I know they're not unique to here, you see them in the UK. He was a nice big bird,
but it was a nice big heron. I did get a tiny bit of film, but it's blurry and it's just not good. I will make an effort and try and get some decent wildlife stuff. So that's it for this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Turn this bloody camera around there.
Little curly whirly thing.
Can't see a little curly whirly there.
Yeah, touch the bottom of your screen.
No.